You can still see those donut tracks here on Gratiot. The driver of this Dodge Charger drives circles around a Detroit cop, literally.
Drivers pulling stunts like donuts, drifting, and
it's kids everywhere. This have got to stop.
A location's posted from a private Instagram page. If you aren't in motion by this point, you might be too late. Because once things get going, they don't slow down. And if there's one thing I know about Detroit, it's not a city anyone can afford to take lightly. Especially not on a night like this. You know me, you know that somehow I'm always in a crazy situation with my camera, and this one is no different. I'm about to give you a rare glimpse into Detroit's underground car culture. Everybody's seen the viral videos, everybody's seen the news reports, everybody and their mama have an opinion on it, but this is how it actually goes down. You arrive at the location, nobody around. The only sign you're even at the right spot is all the tire tracks. Little by little, you start to notice people creeping into random parking lots. And I'm talking about all types of people. They even come from out of state. And before you know it, you're surrounded in a sea of cars. You might as well buckle up, because it's about to be a wild ride. Their motto is get back or get smacked, but I gotta get footage for my film by any means. At this point, I'm in the car, my face is literally stuck to the window from all the spinning, and somehow there was a brief moment of peace in there somewhere. Location 2 gets posted, and it's on to the next spot.
These fucking roads got fucking giant trucks. This is the fucking car sitting there, it's probably stolen.
behind us!
Let's go. Right, yeah, right. Is it?
Well, yeah, but he's got someone else first for sure.
Six matches, shoot the crumb off his hoodie, that's how you get fashion. This bitch asked me was I broke, oh that's a trick question.
We were at spot 2 for like 5 minutes before all you can hear are sirens. People start scattering, cars are taking off. Location 3's posted faster than you could say Detroit Police Department. We'll see who can get there. I've explored the city from high to low, on foot, on bike, and in cars, but the freeways never felt like anything more than a path. This was the first night it ever felt like a part of the city, not just a way around it. The east side was too hot, so we headed all the way across the city to the west side. Just when this was starting to seem like a low-key spot, a helicopter flew in. Yes, you heard that right, a helicopter. Apparently the police want 2 of them in order to help crack down on the car meets.
He's doing real good donuts in the intersection right now. A little bit. Got 1 passenger out running, 2 passengers, 3 passengers out.
You can't even make up how much random stuff happens in Detroit. Some cars become casualties along the way. The next location's posted, so we race to the east side in order to keep up with the pack.
They did say though, they both said they heard the helicopter coming through already.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
He said, yeah, I know.
You're definitely living your life right now.
Hey, you're
I
wearing your seatbelt
this
right,
time,
right?
It's kind of like the person sharing the location is playing chess with the police, with the goal of maximizing the time spent at each spot. this point, it's like 3 a.m. and not much of the hype has died down. It was then that I realized this isn't something that'll just go away. It attracts way too many different types of people. You see it popping up in cities all over the country. It's become a lifestyle. They'll put their safety, their cars, and their freedom on the line just to feel those brief moments where the smell of smoke and the insane screeching of tires is all you can process. Personally, I'll never forget how it sounds. Yet again, sirens start going off and people head in every direction. This was my favorite part of the night. We ended up in a group downtown, knowing everyone else is scattered around the city.
No cup, let's go!
To shit like that, but I'm cool 'cause this isn't love.
All the countercultures I've been involved with have one thing in common: the need to feel something, anything. And when you live like that long enough, you tend to fill that void with something extreme. Something that makes you feel alive. If there's one thing I've learned while creating my documentary, Detroit is a city of high highs and low lows. There's not much in between. So it's only natural that the countercultures it breeds would be the same way. Now that you've seen how all of this actually goes down, I'm sure your opinions about it are even stronger than before. Personally, I feel like you should be able to see a little bit of both sides. Obviously, the people who live in the neighborhoods where they slide have a justifiable complaint. It happens in my neighborhood, but I think it's cool, so it's a little different, and it is dangerous. Not to mention, anytime you have such a large crowd, hundreds of people, things are gonna go wrong. It doesn't matter what event or anything like that. Things are just bound to go wrong with that many people. But also, no one's actively trying to harm anyone when they're doing this. And in a city like Detroit, there are definitely worse things people can choose to do with their time. And unfortunately, I don't have a solution to any of this. I obviously only speak for myself with this whole thing. But if you love it or you completely hate it, there's one thing you can do to keep these sliders off the streets, and that is to donate to this GoFundMe they have set up in order for them to have a legal place to do this. I linked up with some of the people involved about a year ago because they were hosting a legal event at their own property. The police showed up to make sure things went smoothly. It seemed like it was such a step in the right direction. There were obvious issues with overcrowding at the event. As someone who hosts live events myself, I was absolutely mind blown at the amount of people who showed up. Overcrowding is not a small issue to deal with, but it seems like the alternative of trying to crush the community completely is only resulting in the popularity of this whole thing growing. And I have an example that I want to share because I think it sheds light onto something. Growing up as a skateboarder, an urban explorer, and a rooftopper, I've dealt with police my entire life, day in and day out. Back when I started skateboarding, there were no outdoor skate parks, so street skating was the only option for us. We would go all around the city trying to find spots, and eventually, over time, cities all around the country started realizing the need for free outdoor skate parks. And do they keep us completely off the streets? No way. It's never gonna happen. It's too much a part of the lifestyle. But the legal place to skate severely limited the amount of time that we spent street skating. When you love something, you want to do it as much as possible, and eventually you can't keep up with all the tickets or getting kicked out of spots or just outside circumstances that happen when you're out street skating. If you fast forward to now, even Detroit has multiple skate parks. Universally, skateboarders are spending more time in the parks and only heading out to the streets when they want to get some footage, or they want to scratch that itch to go street skating, or maybe they just want to go cruise around. It's not a perfect compromise for anyone, but it allows everyone that room to breathe. It was a once frowned upon counterculture that's now in the Olympics, and you can kind of just see how countercultures can grow into something special, even though their roots are in what people would call illegal activity. So where do things go from here? Well, there's currently a growing distrust, and on one side you have the city, the police, and the local media, and on the other side you have the sliders and the spectators. Some of their legal events were actually shut down due to capacity concerns, and that upset a lot of the drivers. And the police feel disrespected by the way some of the spectators and participants act. To me, what it looks like now is that the police try to break these things up when they're stopped at a location, and then they kind of just guide the drivers to the next location and try to figure out where they're gonna go to break it up again. They really only start pulling people over if they step super far out of line or if they kind of stray from the pack. That's at least what I was seeing, but everyone's had a different experience with this whole thing. The drivers and the sliders are still posting videos. The spectators are still coming out like crazy. It's been an interesting time period in Detroit. The police are obviously gearing up to try to do more and more to crack down. And honestly, the only advice I can give as somebody who had a case built against them unknowingly while they were living their life because of internet antics, everyone just be careful, be respectful, and stay safe. I know it seems like generic advice, but a lot of people think they won't get caught up because of the internet, and because of my roof-topping, I got. So I'm just saying, be careful with what you do. And I feel like in most cases, if people can see that you're not blatantly being disrespectful, then you have a lot of room to breathe if you do get in some trouble. So I have to save some of this footage for my documentary, but if you want a part 2, leave a comment, and maybe I'll reach out to some of the people I know that are on the inside of all this and see if they want to come out and speak on everything sooner than later. Obviously, all these videos I've created over the last 5 years are building up to my documentary film, a Detroit film. And if you followed my journey this whole time, then you know in the early days, I designed the Snapchat filters for the city of Detroit, and then I turned them to an interactive map that I was using. And in this episode, the map got a huge makeover. You can see I learned 3D animation, and this map is going to be an enormous part of my film. And I just want to show you it now. It's obviously still rough and needs a lot of refining, but I'm super proud with how it's going as I create Detroit in 3D. It's going to be one of the most epic parts of my documentary by the time it's done. I'm so excited. It feels like a movie. People have been asking me to release new product again, and I'm so happy to say I finally have new stickers and shirts. They're inspired by the documentary film. They're going to be released through my company as Detroit's own. It obviously says Detroit. It's got the car to represent the Motor City. There's all kinds of landmark buildings in it. And then also, the person on the rooftop. If you want to support, head over to the site and make sure you grab some stickers or shirts. There's so much more to come, and I am so proud and excited about what my documentary, my movie has shaped up to be. I'm so grateful for everyone who's been along on this journey. 5 years, you know, just out creating, exploring, and doing whatever I can in order to get the craziest footage, living the craziest lifestyle. It has been quite the life that I've been able to live, and I'm so grateful for everyone who's followed the journey and anyone who's going to hop on in the future. Subscribe if you want to see more of my adventures more often, or follow me on all social media. I'm about to go get back out on the world map. I'll see everybody in the next video. Goodbye.